And the fourth question, what about the dinosaurs? After all, they did exist. Such a big phenomenon, yeah, they were big, has passed in the history of the earth. Why has religion failed to explain it? Or why has it been missed out? Well, there's a long list of things that religion doesn't explain. Because as we mentioned in the previous, one of the previous questions, religion is not revealed in order for Allah's benefit. And it's not revealed for the Prophet's benefit, but it's revealed for the human being's benefit. It's interesting that the research about the dream activity in the human mind has strongly suggested the possibility that what the mind is doing with most of our, nefsanic dreams, not the dreams that mean something, but the usual run-of-the-mill dreams, is pressing the delete button, freeing up space, in other words, for the mind to work in, eliminating memories that don't do anything useful. And this is a necessary condition to thinking. And the temptation has been to regard remembering as a strength and forgetting as invariably a weakness. It's not. Forgetting is part of remembering. Suppressing thousands of details is a necessary condition to allow the particular detail that you want to arise for consciousness, to be aware of it. And so, if something, the example that we used, if a rock falls off another rock on the other side of the moon, who cares? It doesn't have any benefit. That particular factoid, in fact, doesn't have any benefit for anybody, except its creator, who's causing it and bringing it about. It doesn't have any benefit. And so the Prophet ﷺ said, "Min husni islam al-mar'i tarkuhu ma la ya'nihi." The excellence of a person's Islam lies in leaving that which does not concern him. Because why? Because it's useless. It's something that the brain would have to just press the delete button anyway to get rid of it. So the Quran and the Deen, there's a long list of things that it doesn't comment about. You don't find anything about French grammar or anything about foot deodorant or anything about shaving cream in the Deen. But who cares? I mean, it's not, why should the Deen say something about things that have no use and have no benefit for anyone? Dinosaurs, do we benefit out of the dinosaurs? Well, it's interesting to know, something about them, and that they ate the energy, that was photosynthesized from the sun, and they concentrated it in their flesh. And then when they were compacted and pressed together, all of their bodies, they compressed this energy, this solar energy, and distilled it into a pure form, a pure solar energy in a liquid form, which is petroleum. It powers our airplanes, it powers our trucks, our lorries, and nothing else can. Those two particular things. In general, what's the point then? Allah saved this up, the benefit of these dinosaurs for the present time. They produced the fuel that we run everything on, that enabled man to banish slavery effectively. It runs on electricity, the refrigerator, so we don't have to run back and forth to the grocery store. We are carried from here and there and from all over the place with this fuel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His wisdom saved the pure energy of the sun in this liquid form up to the present day. We're busy squandering it. In general, the mu'min believes that the universe is a sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the universe was created for mankind, for man, to reflect on. And what is it that Allah inscribed in this universe? His tawheed, His oneness, His omnipotent power, and His tawheed. And so someone who understands can get beyond the mere phenomenal exterior of this universe, and he can reach the point of it, which is what? Which is Allah. We said the human being is created of body and mind and ruh, and all of these have their needs. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he said ihsan, excellence, spiritual excellence, is to worship Allah as though you see Him. The eye can only see created things, but the ruh can see beyond created things, to the point of created things. Just as the eye can only see the ink on the page, but the mind can be with the author. The eye can only see the word dinosaurs in this question, but the mind can penetrate to the intent of the author. Similarly, the ruh, with the aid of the mind, can penetrate beyond the veil of created things to the intent of the author. And this is what we believe, that it's a sign. The universe is a sign. And a sign is that which signifies, it points to something beyond itself. So this is the meaning of the universe. And religions, to explain something, religion is not to explain the things that anybody can explain, that someone can come up with a cause and effect explanation for them, but rather it's to explain the things that nobody else can explain. The things of what is the ultimate destiny, what is the point, why are we here, for what was my intelligence created, what should I put my energy behind. And so this is what religion explains: three great facts. You and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God, and what will happen at your death. And so this is what it explains. It's not interested in dinosaurs, it's interested in you. The point is much closer to home. So the Quran, a lot of authors have spent a great deal of ink, lecturing about the scientific wonders of the Quran and so forth. And personally, I find that these books leave me personally very cold. I don't get a lift out of these explanations. However, the mawdi' shahid and all that we have to know about this is that there's nothing absurd or illogical or contradictory or even improbable about religion and about revealed truth. Nothing. In science, it's a mistake to search in the Quran for a prognosticatory announcement of every single new scientific discovery. It doesn't work. One shouldn't base one's iman on something so flimsy anyway. Today's cosmology is tomorrow's joke. It's obvious. And so you shouldn't base your iman. I remember reading in the tafsir of Fakhruddin al-Razi, he talked about the Nahl, and he said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He brings forth from their butun honey, pure honey from their, and butun means what? From their bellies, is what it means, and it's exactly what happens. Honey is bee vomit, as it were. And Allah brings this forth out of their stomachs. He says, modern science, i.e. in Fakhr Razi's day, he says, affirms that the honey isn't eaten by the bees, or it doesn't come out of their stomachs. Rather, it comes from the hollows in their legs that brushes against the pollen, and they gather it with their legs. This was true about going around gathering the pollen. They did gather it with the hairy parts of their legs. And he says, however, the hollow of the leg is also called butun. And so he tried to make it, bring it up to date with modern scientific knowledge. And then, lo and behold, we find in the present day that the literal acceptation of the word was correct, just as it stood. And so he said in question 5, he says, Muslims keep claiming that there are scientific facts in the Quran. That's not what it's for. Tafsil li kulli shay, as a detailed account of everything, it's not about that. You can find out about the ratios of gravity and how a lever works and mechanical advantage